at paddle tennis. I said to her, you can come down to Venice if you just want to be grounded with a normal person. And her answer was, no, I don't want to hang out one-on-one, because if we do, then I'm going to start catching feelings. And I said, no, I won't let that happen. And she said, well, no, I already am.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who this be, it's your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Beyond the Villa Season 1, Episode 8, the season finale. So in this episode, they're back from Miami. There's basically their last time in California, all of them in LA for once. So we have, Serena inviting everybody to her penthouse suite, penthouse apartment. Everybody including, Kyler, Aaron, Liv, whatever. So while everyone's up there, Kyler and Aaron, are having some type of situation. She goes over to talk to Aaron and basically apologize for what happened at the Cordell's dinner table situation, how she went at him or whatever, how she was acting with Torin, and how it could be a little weird, or how she was acting with when they were at the tennis match or whatever. So she was they had an argument again. He was upset. He threw a baseball bat, whatever, and it is what it is. She ended the conversation or whatever, and it was just you know what, I don't think you can really be friends with your ex. And it's just yeah, you really can't. So with that being said, obviously she is going through a lot, so he's trying to be she is going through a lot, whatever, so he's gonna give her grace. But then again, I guess when he was going through his situation with his grandfather this time last year or whatever, she wasn't there for him at all or whatever. So anyways, also at this time point, Kenny, his brother, I guess he had a seizure, and he was unresponsive. He got sent to the hospital, and then I guess his father called him and told him about it. So at this time, he was really upset, sad. He was being very vulnerable about the situation, and he was crying. So Janae went and comforted him, and then I guess Kyler came and asked what was going on. So they all prayed together about his brother's safe recovery from the situation. So it was really sad, he was very vulnerable in that, seeing situations like that, it's a life or death situation where your brother, could have not been here because he obviously had a very, very emergency seizure, and you whatever that came out about him, not being real or not being authentic with Janae. It's just kind of crazy. It's you can be that vulnerable with yourself and Janae about, your family. And it's just oh, no, you didn't really like her like that, or you weren't being authentic about the whole relationship. Is kind of crazy to me. Because, that's a wild, looking back at that is really wild to see, wow. And then to find out, this is 8 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 months time, it's crazy. So anyways, moving on, Aaron's birthday's coming up, so he invited everybody to his birthday party. So, he invited Kyler too. So he texted Kyler, oh, you're invited, da-da-da. His mother and his grandmother is going to be in town. You're just going to be your first chance to see them, and da-da-da-da. So, he really wanted her to see them, but then obviously she's with her, new boyfriend. So anyways, they're at his birthday lunch, birthday dinner, whatever. Kenny, Kenny, Connor, Kendall, showed up to his birthday situation. I think Liv, and I think that's about it, and maybe Leah and Miguel, I don't know. They showed up, but Kyler didn't, and Janae, she didn't show up. So with that being said, it was just oh, if, since he's going back to the UK and he's probably has no interest in ever coming back to America at any time point soon, so he's just I'm never gonna see her again. I mean, or whatever, like, you know, we're never going to see her again if she doesn't show up to my birthday situation, because he's probably not going to come back anytime soon to America. So while this is happening, her boyfriend Torin comes into town, have like a little dinner with her, and she's just like, you know what, like, you know, thanks for the invite, buddy, but I'm not going to come. Like, it just feels weird to like be meeting the family or whatever, like, especially that if we're not in a relationship, or like that's so serious, da da da. But I'm just like, I mean, to be honest, if you're not in a relationship, it's really just your friend meeting, or so sort of kind of your friend meeting your mother and grandmother. It's really not that deep, to be honest. But I mean, I get the point, because they're not friends. That's her ex. So I mean, it really is what it is. Moving on, I mean, you know, Kendall, his sister, and his father, they came into town, so they had like a little hiking situation. He basically talked about like his conversation with Nicole, basically gave him like closure for him to move on into like looking for new relationships and being open to new relationships now that he has that closure and he has no resentment for her. So yeah, that's good for Kendall. Other than that, you know, everybody's packing up, getting ready to leave LA. You know, Janae, she's going back home to Las Vegas, and then she has like a lot of like, you know, brand trips with Kenny, whatever. But they were asking about his lease ending in Dallas, so like what he's gonna do. So he was like, he's open to Vegas, or I think Texas. Is it Vegas or LA or something like that? He was open to Vegas for sure. So, you know, she like basically made Janae happy, like, oh, if you're open to Vegas, like, yay, because, you know, you can live with her, or you can live close by to her and not be like long distance anymore. So it was just like, wow, 8 weeks ago we're thinking about living in Vegas or moving in Vegas, da 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 da. You know, she was just like, you know what, you can like extend your lease for 6 months, so then you don't have to rush and make your decision, da 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 da. Anyways, it's crazy that they did put that little breakup thing in the middle of the episode, which is crazy, because she made her post and said like what happened, like they're no longer dating. He made his post like they broke up amicably. Like, did they forget that Janae literally made another post calling him out and say that's not the case, like this is not the case. So I'm like, that's crazy that they put that in the middle of the show when, you know, they're talking and, you know, getting ready to leave the apartment. It's crazy, because it's just like they didn't break up amicably. They broke up because of what he did and what she found out. So that's crazy to use their Instagram post on the show like, oh, this is the real reason, or try to present that to the people who wasn't there or who wasn't there in real time, because she didn't really air him out, but she made a story post that lasted 24 hours that said, you know, delete the post or whatever, you know, that story post, because that's not the case. Like, she's like, don't like get me upset, because I could really air you out right now. So like, that's crazy that they got the post and clipped it, screenshot it, and put it in their TV show. That's wild for them. But yeah, they put it out in the show that they're, after 8 weeks after this show ended, or this, you know, filming ended, they broke up. Crazy, wild. Anyways, everybody's packing up. They're going back home, you know, no longer in LA. I mean, Serena lives in LA now. Leah lives in LA. Miguel lives in LA. His visa was expiring, so it's just like what he's gonna do about his visa. But it's just like, it seems like Miguel and Leah are locked in. You know, Cordell, he got this, you know, TV show gig for Unreasonable Doubt. So therefore, you know, he's doing filming. He's like flying back and forth. So it's just kind of like, you know, he's always busy, but him and Serena are locked in. What else? You know, basically that was it. I mean, this season of Love Island Beyond the Villain was very much kind of like chopped in a sense. Like, it was very chopped, very much, besides Aaron and Kayler going back at it all the time, or, you know, Janae and this living situation of Kenny. It really wasn't giving what we thought it was going to give. I feel like this season 7 now, if they decide to give them a Beyond the Villa, the content that they would have, because there was barely much anything really going. Beyond the Villa only really happened truly because of the whole PBG dynamic. Really and truly, it only happened because PPG type dynamic. So yeah, with that being said, it was, you know, a decent attempt at a, you know, another reality TV show. But season 7, if they can get season 7 on the phone and to, you know, say yes to doing a Beyond the Villa, definitely need to see that, because a lot of these dynamics that's happening right now in real time should be, you know, getting that, they should be getting that on camera. Like, we should be knowing what's going on like, because there's a lot of dynamics that's happening, especially for all these breakups and fallouts. Like, yeah, get season 7 on the phone ASAP. But yeah, until Love Island Games in a couple of weeks, next time. But anyway, guys, if you guys like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns. You subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.